After finding out what really happened at my fiance's bachelorette party, I'm not sure this wedding is happening anymore. My fiancée used to be everything to me, the woman I thought I would spend the rest of my life with, and for the longest time I believed nothing could shake that, but lately I started feeling uneasy about us, and even though I hate to admit it, I gave in to that feeling and went through her phone the other night, and while I was scrolling, a message popped up from one of her friends talking about the bachelorette party, and that set me off. I could not stop digging, so I stayed up the entire night checking her laptop and social media accounts, and eventually I found out she cheated at the party, and I am not talking about getting a lap dance or something light like that, which I could have lived with. I mean, she actually went further than that with a stripper and even left the party with another one, and I found a message on her account from that guy saying it was nice meeting her and he had a good time. Dated the same night as the party, and when I looked through the group chat with her friends, it all made sense. It was not a huge party, just a few of them, and they all seemed to know what happened, and honestly I could tell it was probably just a one-time thing, but it still wrecked me. I had not slept, I was still drunk from the night before, and she was about to head out for work like nothing was wrong. We were 3 weeks away from our wedding, planning a home, talking about kids, the future, and I just sat there feeling like it was all garbage now. I reeked of booze and felt totally hollow, and for a moment all I wanted to do was scream at her, but instead I stepped outside for a cigarette and tried to breathe, and not long after that, she woke up and noticed the drinks left out, came over to hug and kiss me like it was a normal morning, asked why I stayed up drinking and why I did not come to bed, and I just lied, told her I had a nightmare, nothing big, and she got ready and went to work while I stood there pretending everything was fine, but I was numb, like I was watching it all from outside my body. And when she asked if I was stressed about the wedding, I just gave her some line about how I loved her and this should be the best time of our lives, and then she left, and I started packing, just the stuff that mattered, cancelled the wedding venue even though they kept a chunk of the money, told them I did not care, took screenshots of all the messages and packed them with me, called a cab around noon and booked a hotel about an hour out of town, left no note, no hint, just disappeared because I needed space to think, and by the afternoon, my phone started blowing up, first from her, then her sister, her friends, her parents, even mine, but the only people I talked to were my mom and dad, who I trust more than anyone, and I gave them a softer version of the truth, just said I could not go through with the wedding and that she had not been honest with me, told them not to tell anyone what I said, and they agreed, but later that day my dad called back and said she was having a meltdown, completely torn apart, did not understand what was happening, and I asked him not to get involved, that I just needed to be alone for a while, and then I shut off my phone and stayed silent, but I had the proof. Her sister had known about what happened and even laughed about it in the texts, told her not to feel bad because it was her last free night, and in that moment I felt like I had dodged a bullet, like I escaped a marriage filled with lies, screaming matches, and regret, and honestly, despite everything, I started to feel some relief, like I could actually move forward, but of course she started calling again, crying, saying I misunderstood, that she loved me, that there was a reason for what happened, begged me to come home, and I told her if that was true, to explain it now, and all she kept saying was I had not seen the full story, that I made a rash decision and should just come back, and I barely responded, just short, flat answers, and when she kept insisting, I said check your messages, then hung up and sent her all the screenshots I had, not everything, but enough, and 2 minutes later she called back sobbing, saying she was sorry, that she wished she was dead rather than lose me, that her sister and friends pressured her into partying hard that night before she got married, said she needed to get it all out of her system, and I said nothing, just kept listening while she kept crying, and when she offered to let me sleep with other women to make it even, I told her I never needed to do that because from the moment I fell for her, she was the only one I wanted, and no revenge would change what she did, and she just kept begging until I finally said if she came clean to her family, I would think about it, and then I hung up, and maybe 10 minutes later her father called, apologized, said he knew now and he was sorry, that he did not raise her to act that way, and then her mother got on the phone and said Her daughter had never been this broken before, and I told her thank you and goodbye, and after that my ex-fiancé called again and said she told everyone the truth, even messaged our mutual friends, apologized again, and I told her not to cry, told her there is no need to say sorry because single women are free to do whatever they want, and I hope she finds the right man someday, and she broke down worse than before, handed the phone to her sister, who asked if I would take her back, and I just said I would think about it, and then her sister told me she was worried my ex was starting to talk about hurting herself, and all I said was, well, it is a good thing you are nearby, maybe get her some help, a doctor or something, and then I hung up and turned off my phone again, and even though everything is still a mess, I actually feel like I can breathe now, like I have a shot at getting my life back on track without all the lies.